I'm here with Gunali. Just watched Arsenal 2-0 winners against Man United. Good night for Arsenal all round, given that Liverpool dropped points at Newcastle today. So your thoughts overall?
Do you know what? It was a comfy win, I guess you would say, but it was a very strange game in the sense of, I don't feel like we did enough to kind of really say that we dominated the game. Prior to the game starting, I was very optimistic of a very big win. Obviously, that was before some of the injured players that I knew that weren't going to play, obviously didn't play. But honestly, I felt that we needed to do a little bit more to kind of like really dominate the game. But listen, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and I think for me, genuinely speaking, I think we just have to move to the next game. There's obviously other results that have gone in our favour today, and sometimes you just got to take the result and run, and that's what we're going to do today.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that in the first half, we weren't at our best. How much of that do you put down to Man United and how they set up?
Well, look, you kind of asked a great question, and I did say it on the watch along, but I thought we were very poor in the first half. I thought the passing was off. I thought that we were very lethargic in the way that we were kind of like pressing and trying to move the ball. I don't really feel like there was a great rhythm. Look, the magician Odegaard, he's not always going to have a great and perfect game. Saka, being the star boy, I don't think he also was that electric in the game as well. So, that's one bad game in 13. So, look, in the first half, it was very, very poor. I don't think Havertz did anything pretty much throughout the game. But in the second half, obviously the managers, we saw, and you mentioned it, the manager kind of really just headed down the tunnel. And I think he's kind of put a rocket up them and said, look, we need to go out there and kind of get that win. And ultimately we did that. So it was good.
It was much better in the second half, like you said. What do you put that down to? Was it a tactical change, or do you think we just wore them down a bit?
Yeah, I think, look, Man United was set up great, and I thought that they did really kind of try to squeeze the space a bit more. But what I will say is I didn't think it was going to last for the whole game. They are a newly formed team in the sense of new manager, new tactics. But I'm also looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, we've been here and done that 5 years now. So I think the players know how to find ways to, dictate and try and work out how to play against most teams. And, I think for me, in the second half, there was a lot more, a bit more better passing. I think Odegaard got on the ball a bit more. I think Rice was a little bit more dominant. And listen, it's those tricky old Reds with those tricky old set pieces. And that was why we got the first goal and obviously the second goal.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So the 2 goals from 2 set pieces. We talk about the set piece coach. I mean, it's obvious to say that Arsenal have added a real strong string to their bow. Even when we're not playing at our best, we can get goals from set pieces. Exactly. How crucial is that to the way we're playing at the moment?
Well, listen, if we didn't get those set pieces today, I don't think we would have scored from open play. Like, I feel like we really struggled to kind of break down the middle of Man United's, midfield / defence, especially with Bruno being in there, who we know can be a little bit lazy with his defensive, capabilities. So, yeah, I think the set pieces were vital and they're going to be vital. And people need to stop worrying about if we're Stoke, if we're old school Bolton from 2003, 2004, 2006, because, listen, nobody's going to be thinking about that at the end of the season if we win. Nobody thought about that when we beat Sporting Lisbon 5-1. Sorry. Yeah, nobody thought about that when we slapped up West Ham 5-2. So for me, look, certain games you need to play a certain way. You need to try and find ways to adapt to win the game. Today, it just happened that it was 2 set pieces. But when Man City do it in the last minute against us, nobody worries, right? So, listen, don't need to worry about that, man. Like, I think we just needed to get the result and we move on. Now, long term, you do want to have better play and, a better style of play because that is more conducive to win games. You can't just rely on set pieces, but it is another string to our bow. And, we use it to our advantage. And no one needs to worry. No one needs to complain about that. Like, ultimately, we did what we needed to do.
No, well said. I'm with you 100% on that because, when we've not won games and missed chances in the past, people have said you're a one-trick pony. Now we've got another way of winning games. People are calling us glorified Stoke. So as far as I'm concerned,
the joke of it is we should have probably got another one. In the first 10 minutes, that part he missed came off his shoulder, I think, 100%. And there was even another chance for Marino in the second half. He could have, got it on target. But again, for me, those set pieces are crucial. that opens the game. Sometimes you're going to need to find different ways. And yeah, we found that different way, and we're using that different avenue to try and navigate throughout this tricky Premier League season, because there's not just one way to there's not just one team that we're playing against. We're playing against different styles. We're playing against different sort of tacticians and in different managers. So yeah, man, those set pieces are great. And we keep saying it every single week. That set piece coach, Nicolas, he deserves that Salah money. He deserves that Salah money, the way that he's coming in clutch for us. So, yeah, shout out to him, man.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%, like I said. So, yeah, as we've established, going forward, we weren't at our best. I mean, personally, I thought 2-0 was fair. I thought we created by far the more of the chances. I think it's 14-5. We went close a number of times. Okay, we didn't score, but we got the set-piece goals. I thought 2-0 was fair. Let's talk about the defenders today, because I thought that they were really good today. I mean, for me, I thought Saliba was man of the match. I don't know how you feel about that, but I also thought that Kivior played well.
Yeah.
And the defence looked solid, right?
Yeah, and listen, it's great to see that we've got players that can be dependable. The thing that I like about Kivior, or something that he does well in and excels in, is when he starts, we see that good play from him. I think when he comes on and he's quite cold late into a game, that's when he becomes quite shaky. So
good point.
He's definitely dependable, and he's somebody who obviously we needed today. And the good thing is, all the role players know their position. They know their role, and they come in and they make the difference. And that's all you need. That's all you want. So for me, no problems with him today. But Timber, that guy, man, he's like, I mean, look, regardless if he got the goal or not, solid, dependable, on 100% all the time. There's no kind of like throwing any punch, not throwing any punches. He's always kind of giving 100%, and that's all you can ask from anybody. Whether it's football, whether it's life, give 100%, and hopefully the results follow. And he's come in clutch for us today. Opened up the, broke the game open. So yeah, man, it's good. It's good. So we are,
and I think I should mention as well. You mentioned it during the watch along. You called David Raya. You mentioned him. I thought he was outstanding today. Okay, he didn't have a whole heap of saves to make, but when he was called upon, that save in particular in the second half, at the far post there, brilliant stop.
On this very channel, a few months back, I had to apologise to David Raya. I had to. So listen, man, he's more than convinced me that he's the guy. Like Ramsdale, listen, you're long in the past now. So yeah, for me, look, he came in clutch as well, especially in that in the second half with that when it was 1-0, made a great save. So yeah, man, like we move on to the next game, which is I think Fulham away, staying in London. So hopefully we can try and navigate a win. We need to win. I think we've got a few kind of games in London. We need to try and find a way to win all of those, because as I said, Liverpool dropping points today, 7 points behind. Listen, the Sharks are lurking, and it's not about Man City no more. So hopefully we can keep going.